Hello, Namaskar viewers. I am Sanjeev Pandya welcoming you to this week's episode of the Tax Talk with AJ. The show is brought to you by Sai CPS Services, a full-fledged, complete accounting firm located in the state of New Jersey, multiple locations. They are very professional and they have on-hand professional, trained and knowledgeable CPAs. They can help you with personal taxes, corporate taxes or any tax-related matter. Not only that, if you are a small business owner, medium to large business size owner, and if you need virtual CEO, CFO or someone who can do big bookkeeping and accounting services, Sai CPS Services can help you out. And as far as virtual CEO and CFO concerns, that is lately happening a lot because many companies would like to have somebody do their job instead of hiring someone, and Sai CPS Services is a perfect partner for that matter. So give them a call at 908-888-8900. That's a 908-888-8900, or visit their website, saicpsservices.com. With that note, I'd like to welcome Mr. Ajay Kumar, CPA, CVA, and MBA with Sai CPS Services with over 25 years of experience, brings his knowledge and expertise with us in the show and shares it with us. Ajay ji, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Sanjeev. Thank you for the kind introduction.
You're very welcome.
Right.
Huh?
We are 100% right when you talk about these virtual CFO service, virtual CEO service. Not only you get the right expertise, so you don't, if you try to hire one person who knows payroll, bookkeeping, sales tax, income tax, labor audit, business valuation, not only that person is going to be extremely expensive, one person has the bandwidth problem. How much work can one person do? And what if after 6 months, after 1 year, this person leaves?
Yes.
So when you hire this virtual CFO service, not only we can bring in the right expertise, be it the business valuation, payroll, sales tax, income tax, labor audit, income tax, and we have backup for everything. So we have a system in place where if one person leaves, the other person can just walk in their shoes immediately, so your business will not be affected.
Absolutely, and that's what everyone should consider. And not to forget to add one more thing, AJ, is a loyalty and a full dedication and focus. That's what your CEO and CFO can do. So do contact Sai CPS Services. You will see that information on the screen. All right, AJ, let's move on to this week's topic. And we are in middle of September. So October 15th is not too far away. And October 15th is the deadline for all kinds of tax returns, personal or business tax returns deadline, meaning whoever filed an extension after April 15th or rather on April 15th, they must take care of their tax returns finally and send it to United States or Treasury. Whatever you owe, you can manage to pay now and then later on, whatever it is, but the tax return must be submitted. So AJ, in your terms, in the accounting or the rather CPA's language, how important it is to submit your tax return by October 15th?
Well, it's extremely important. So first thing, there is no further extension to it. You have the right to file the extension by, on or before April 15th, but if you don't file the taxes by October 15th, your extension is null and void, meaning if you file the taxes on October 16th, you pay the penalties for 6 months, not for 1 day. Meaning the extension that you filed got waived, got voided. So filing the taxes is extremely important before this deadline. And you have to also remember that it's not about payment. We come across a lot of people who says, I don't have money. I know I'm going to owe taxes. I don't have enough money. And that's the reason they are delaying filing the taxes. So we want to clarify in this show there are two separate things. Filing the taxes has a different penalty, meaning late filing penalty is very different than late paying penalty. So if you can file the taxes, you can minimize the penalties or the interest that you have by at least filing it. We can talk about having an installment plan. We can talk about having other arrangements for you to be able to make the payment, but there is absolutely no reason for you not to file the taxes on or before October 15th. And now we are in September end. We have only a couple of weeks left before the actual deadline. So please make sure you file your taxes on or before October 15th.
All right, and viewers, in case if you need any assistance to file your taxes, in case you didn't get a chance to work on it, or maybe you are thinking about changing your accountant or CPA, this is the right time for you to contact Science CPA Services. They will guide you, they will help you, and whatever the taxes needs to be filed, they will file it, because Science CPA Service believes in one thing, which is to do taxes right. Refund, not refund, that's a different thing, but to file your taxes right, and that's why Science CPA Services has earned a reputable name in the USA, in the community. So wherever you are in the USA, give them a call and do not wait any longer. 908-888-8900 or sciencecpaservices.com. All right, AJ, with that note, it's obviously now that everyone will know that Form 1040 or any kind of business, LLC form, S corporation, C corporation, everything must be filed. Let's touch base upon foreign banking reporting, FBAR.
Absolutely, Sanjeev. So before we start talking about the FBAR, you had a very, very valid point that this is the time, if you have been thinking about, if you have been considering switching the accountant to a better accountant, to a much more knowledgeable accountant, this is the time. Accountants don't have time to sit with you, to work with you in January, February. You cannot be switching the accountant in January, February. You should consider switching the accountant now if you are thinking about it. So the accountant has a couple of months before the end of the year to do the right thing, to create your file, to create the necessary templates for the taxes, to do the bookkeeping, to make the estimated tax payment, to do the tax planning, create a tax strategy around your situation. But that needs time, that needs a couple of months. So the decision has to be made now, this point of time, not in January, February.
Okay, very well said. So with that note, let's move on and give some information on a certain, tax-related topics, which is FBAR. FBAR has been always, I would say, a little bit confusing, but also very, very popular topic that people should know if they have bank account in India or anywhere, wherever they come from. So give us an overview on FBAR.
Absolutely. So in this episode, as much as we are discussing the upcoming tax deadline, and we'll talk about the FBAR, FATCA, and related tax deadline, I want our viewers to know that we have a separate episode. If you go to our Science CPA Services YouTube channel, we have a separate episode on FBAR, FATCA, FAT, CA only. You can search over there, which will help you understand just FBAR only. In this episode, we are trying to cover personal tax deadline, business tax deadline, related penalties. So the discussion will be on deadline focused as opposed to FBAR focused. But we do have a separate episode on our YouTube channel. If you search Science CPA Services, you will see a lot of good information, a capsule, a 10-minute capsule on FBAR and FATCA.
Okay, right. Now, since you discussed on FBAR, you gave information on FBAR, can you tell us penalties related to FBAR, if any?
Absolutely, Sanjeev. So FBAR, foreign bank account reporting filing, is due when the personal tax filing. FBAR is a function of 1040, is a function of personal tax filing. FBAR is typically filed with the personal taxes 1040. It can be filed separately. So if you have missed the FBAR filing, you should do FBAR filing ASAP. FBAR does not have a separate extension request. If you request the extension for your personal tax filing, you automatically get the extension for FBAR as well. The penalties could be huge depending on your situation. If it's, they have divided these penalties into two parts, willful penalty and non-willful penalty, meaning I forgot. That's different than you should have known or you knew about it and you did not do the right thing. So the non-willful penalty could be $10,000 per incident.
Wow.
Forget about the willful penalty, meaning that's in hundreds of thousands of dollars. And that's per incident. So we have a lot of clients coming to us that I have not filed FBAR, we did not know about it. We have a home in India and we have some bank accounts in India. We get some rental income, some interest income. So the associated form, the complementary form that goes with FBAR is called FATCA, foreign asset reporting. So even though there is a lot of confusion about FBAR, a lot of people don't know about FBAR, FATCA is even less known form than FBAR. FATCA, foreign asset reporting, is missed generally. So make sure when you think about FBAR, foreign bank account reporting, you keep in mind how much assets you have. What's the end of the year market value, not the book value, not at what you purchased for. What's the general market value for the assets that you have? And again, we have a separate episode on FBAR FATCA. Please do review it. FBAR FATCA penalties are extremely high, and the deadline is associated with personal tax filing. So if you have filed an extension for your personal taxes, automatically FBAR FATCA gets extended to October 15th. And if you miss it, if you have the willful penalty, that's very high. Unwillful penalty could be $10,000 for each event, each incident.
Man, that is steep. $10,000 penalty. That's very, very steep. All right, before we go into the break, quickly just to touch base upon the penalties on Form 1120 and Form 1040. We know there's going to be a penalty if you miss the deadline October 15, but how to avoid those penalties? Quick tips if you can share it with us.
So the only way to avoid non-filing penalty is to file it. The only reason you're not filing it because you don't have the right information.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you should have filed it. Especially when it comes to the business 1120, we call it C corporation. When it comes to the C corporation filing, you should file the best numbers that you have by October 15th. If you have to amend it, there is no penalty around it. There is no charge around it. Unless the amendment is creating a tax liability, then you have some non-payment related penalties. But otherwise, make sure you use the best numbers to file the taxes. There is no charge for amending the taxes. You can amend the taxes within 3 years as many times as you want. I mean, you should avoid the amendment, but if you don't have the right number, please try to use the best numbers to file your taxes. The only way to avoid non-filing penalties, late filing penalties, is by filing it. Late payment penalties are different. And after the break, we'll give you the details of how much the late payment penalties or the late filing penalties could be for each situation, for 1040, 1120, 1041, and all these forms.
All right, that's good to know. So we're going to take a short break. When we come back, as AJ said, that he's going to give more information on the penalties. Remember, you're watching the Tax Talk with AJ. We'll be right back after this messages. Stay with us. Welcome back to the second half of the show, Tax Talk with AJ. Now we're going to move on to the show and we're going to talk about the penalties of 1040s and 1120s and S and everything else.
Absolutely. So let's just start with the 1040 first. 1040 is a personal tax filing. You typically file 4868, an extension form to get 6 months extension. The extension must be filed on or before April 15th. You cannot file the extension after April 15th. There is no further extension. There is no second extension. There are two types of penalties: non-filing penalties and non-payment penalties. Non-filing penalties are typically much higher than non-payment penalties. You say how higher? How much higher? As much as 10 times higher than non-payment penalties. Again, there's absolutely no reason for you not to at least file the taxes. If you don't have money to pay, you can get an installment plan, you can make alternative arrangements. There are a lot of options out there. So the penalty for non-filing first could be as much as 5% of the unpaid taxes, which can be up to 25% of the total tax liability. 5% of unpaid taxes every month, not every year, as opposed to 0.5% of the unpaid taxes for non-payment. So non-payment is 0.5% per month of the unpaid taxes. Non-filing is 5% every month for the unpaid taxes, and they can both go up to 25% of the total unpaid taxes. So the penalties are extremely high. There is no further extension, and you have to have certain forms filed before April 15th to make sure you have the time till October 15th. Again, if you don't have the best information, please try to file based on what you have. If you could not get a W-2, the employer is not working with you, not giving you the W-2, you can call IRS, get a copy of the transcript, and get the information estimated information, or if you don't have that channel, you were getting the money. Look at your bank account, look at the pay stub. Try to create the best estimate so you have some way to file the taxes.
Very very important message. And with the authority, Ajay ji, आपने बोला कि भाई October 15 तक file करना ही है, no matter what, just file it. You know, rest of the things can work out a little bit later on, but just let them have it that yes, you know, so and so person with that so and so SS number have filed the tax return. I have a question, AJ. What if a taxpayer is abroad for personal or professional reason, could be anything, and they are unable to file the tax return by April 15th or whatever it is? Do they get any exemption? What would you advise to them?
So if you are an expat, if you are living, working outside this country, I mean, it doesn't count if you went to Cancun for 3 days and now you are claiming that I was outside the country. That's not how it works. The rule was made for expat, and the system gives them 2 extra months. So instead of April 15th, without filing the extension, they have till June 16th to file their taxes and or the extension. So for expat, for people who are living abroad, working abroad, the system allows them additional 2 months to file their taxes.
Right. Additional 2 months.
Yes.
So what kind of proof that they have to give in order to get that status?
They have to show that they are living over there for at least half the year,
Oh, I
183 days. They are working over there. You can't be saying that I went to India for a month in April and that's why I could not file the extension.
All right. So working on either for a corporation or maybe for United States government.
Absolutely. If you are a military personnel, you have extra exemptions. You have to 6 months, especially if you have been working outside, if you have been put into a different country where you did not have access to the system. In that case, they get extra 6 months. So please understand the rule. But in general, if you can, please try to file the taxes before October 15th.
Okay, October 15th. So when you say 2 months, I just want to make it clear because if somebody may question that. When you say 2 months, those 2 months from April 15th or October 15th?
April 15th till June 16th. The intent is that you don't have to file the extension. We will not charge you late filing penalties till June 16th for additional 2 months. Again, please remember that the differentiation here is filing and paying. So we are giving 2 months for filing. That does not mean you don't have to pay late payment penalty. Let's say if somebody is filing the taxes on June 16th and he's an expat and they pay everything on June 16th, they will still be responsible for 2 months of late payment penalties. So there is no late filing penalties for expat till June 16th, but the payment is still due by April 15th. So in that case, since it's 0.5%, the late payment penalty per month, so 1% of the unpaid taxes could be the potential penalty in this example.
All right. And especially person who living abroad, or let's say person living here, right? And a person is not very financially well settled, or I'm just saying this. My question to you is, can they get free tax help from IRS or from government?
Absolutely. So anybody can request free tax help. IRS has a tax advocate service where there is no income limit. You don't have to be not making enough money. There are free help services where if you are making less than certain amount of money, you can go to IRS website to do the free filing. All the private software company, TurboTax, H&R Block, Liberty Tax Services, they're all expected to create a free software, free service to complement what HR offers for people who cannot, who are not making a lot of money. The idea is for people who cannot afford to pay for the tax filing fees, they should be allowed to file the taxes in the system without paying somebody. So if you can, if you're not making enough money, you can go to IRS website. Even if you're making a lot of money and you still have a question that you want to check with IRS, you can contact Taxpayer Advocate Service and they will be happy to help.
All right. So having heard the importance of filing, tax filing by October 15th, assuming that you filed an extension on April 15th, so then October 15th is your deadline for any and all kind of tax forms and a personal business taxes, everything else, you know, it must be done by October 15th. And by not doing it, there is going to be a steep penalties, and that penalties can definitely haunt you. So try to avoid those penalties and do file your taxes on time. Ajay, sometimes it amazes me because I have heard, I don't think I have met, but I have heard some people, they just don't file taxes. They believe in why file taxes.
Well, when we hear that this person or that person is not filing taxes, typically they are referring to personal taxes, not the corporation taxes.
Yes, exactly.
I want to clarify though that October 15th deadline is for 1040 personal tax filing, 1120 C corporation tax filing, 1041 tax filing. Is not the tax deadline is not the tax deadline for 990 series. For non-for-profit companies, we still have one more month, November 15th, from
Yes.
October 15th, to if you filed an extension for your non-for-profit company, you have till November 15th to file the taxes. But coming back to the question that some people don't
Yes.
file the taxes, typically they are referring to people for their personal tax filing. The system allows you, if you are making less than certain amount of money, let's say, for example, if you have a married filing joint, generally speaking, about $29,000-$30,000 is the personal exemption that you get. Standard deduction, we call it. So if somebody is making a W-2, husband, wife making two W-2s or retired, in that case, if their income is less than $30,000, $29,000, they don't have to file taxes. Meaning is that the system is a slab system. If you are making less than certain amount of money, you are not required to file taxes, especially if the money that you are making is through W-2. But please understand there are separate guidance, separate deadlines, and separate limits for 1099, for self-employed, for business owners. So don't assume everything that you see, that you hear. If you have a 1099, that limit could be very less, $400 per person. If you are self-employed, that limit is different. If you are S corp owner, that limit could be very different. So people who are saying that this person has not filed taxes for multiple years, generally speaking, this person is not making enough money to trigger. Otherwise, sooner or later, the system will trigger and they will start getting the notices.
All right, just one last question. Thank you for the information. Very, very last question, quickly. You said that person who's making less than $30,000, husband, wife, or even retirement, social security income, they don't have to file taxes. But here you talking about federal taxes, correct? The state tax must be filed because if they own a home, then there is a property tax involved. They need to give details on property taxes because it also depends upon the refund that you're going to get from the state. So
You're
is
right.
it
100%.
So
even though
is it true that they have to file at least the state tax return?
Well, yes, two parts to this question. The first part is, do they have to? Is it mandated for them to file it? The answer is no. We can look at the situation as, it's not as saying that 30,000 no filing of the taxes. If this 30,000 is coming through 1099, even 3,000 is coming through 10, even 1,000. 1099
This I'm
limit
talking
is
retirement. The
so
retirement
if
social
the
security
social
only.
security or the welfare funds or the interest income, you can avoid filing the taxes, but more than likely you will get a refund from the state by filing the taxes. So are you mandated to file the state taxes? Probably not.
Okay.
Not in New Jersey. It depends on which state you live in. But by filing the taxes, more than likely you will get a refund because there is a $500 extra credit that you get per person. Married filing joint,
Yes.
lesser income, less than 30,000, get $1,000 from the government by filing
why
it.
not?
And
All right.
filing is free.
All right. Very good. Thank you so very much, AJ, for all the information. Remember, folks, October 15th is a deadline. We do not want to hear any excuse after October 15th that you missed the deadline, you didn't file it for whatever reason maybe. So do file your taxes after October 15th and take my advice. Do contact Science CPA Services for any help that you need. 908-888-8900. They're only one phone call away. In-person appointment can be done. Over the phone appointment can be done. Zoom can be done. Everything can be done. So reach out to very experienced and knowledgeable staff, including Mr. AJ, the head of Science CPA Services. Give them a call and visit their website, sciencecpaservices.com. Once again, their phone number is 908-888-8900. With that note, we come to an end of this week's show. AJ, thank you so very much. Thank you. All right. And when we meet again, same place, same time, we'll have a lot more tax-related topics for you right here on the Tax Talk with AJ. I am Sanjeev Pandya, wishing you all happy and the tax-free days ahead. So long.